Previously on the Seegers family edifice venture. We started laying tile down in the kitchen and realized there would be no precision with the assorted tiles we had collected from various places. The gap is slightly bigger, but I think that adds to the character of the floor, so it's not so perfect. It almost has an eclectic look to it. We didn't complete the floor, but did get a lot finished with the help of the kids.
One here.
Yeah, and one there.
Freeze. I got it.
Yeah, good job. The flying squirrels once again took up residency.
See the little nest is up there in that, right there in that peak? Yeah. You see the stuffing up there? Oh, yeah, he's moving.
We prepped the building for electricity, but had to move a few things that were in the way. With everything prepped for the electricity, the service line was then installed. We started framing the main living area, but only after a battle with a bulging wall.
We're going to have to try to cable that back in so he doesn't have problems with his siding and everything, and also his square for his walls inside his house.
We then knocked out some demo, among other things.
That's Warren's handiwork.
And finally, we went into a framing frenzy. Oh yeah, one last thing. We knocked a hole in the wall.
There's a hole in your wall!
And installed the front door to the house. Well, Penny, it looks like we got a good start to the summer of 2008.
Yes, we did, but unfortunately, it was very repetitive.
Yes, it was. Very redundant. So instead of showing everybody at home the same things over and over, what we're going to do is show them the highlights of the summer of 2008.
And trust me, there was some funny stuff that happened last summer. We had a lot of excitement.
If you like our podcast, you'll love our website. Check it out at edificeventure.com. See pictures, read blogs, find cool links, and get information on green products and services.
Well, we got 4 kids, a cat, and a dog, and we're looking for an open space where we can stretch our legs and start a new life and build us a greener place. Our structure stood with no inner walls and a big hole in the roof. Now it's hard to build the American dream, and brother, this is living proof. A giant labor of love is falling down on County Road 1. But with TLC and nature's harmony, we can keep it from coming undone. Seegers family edifice venture, a practical way to go green. Seegers family edifice venture, show you something that you've never seen.
The Seegers Family Edifice Venture is sponsored in part by Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County, building decent affordable housing with people in need. WVPE 88.1, a NPR station. Inform, entertain, inspire. Anco Products Inc, our energy saves you energy. And Heritage Antique Lumber, crafting fine furniture, custom cabinetry, and trim using lumber from historic barns.
The summer of 2008, I was really unsure of how it was going to go. We didn't have any extra money in the budget to really spend a whole lot of money on the renovations, so we had to be really creative and use what we'd already purchased and had on hand.
The summer of 2008 for me was repetitive. We were doing the same things over and over and over. We were framing, we were siding, we were constantly lifting trusses up or plumbing walls up, but it was just a very repetitive summer.
One of the things that really frustrated Warren was that we couldn't quite figure out how to put in the 3rd floor and work around the trusses. We didn't know exactly where to put all of our supports.
I thought I knew what I was talking about. Each section of this is a completely framed floor by itself. Because of these beams, we can't just run a floor all the way down with all the joists. I got to re-support all that. This section here is a floor by itself. This section here is going to be a floor by itself, and each section will have its own plywood. But in reality, I think about it, I didn't know what I was talking about. The real confusion came in with all the trusses.
That one's broken completely.
A good majority of them were damaged or broken, and I didn't know what we needed to do to fix them or to replace them or really what to do with the trusses.
One of the most monotonous things was to pull out the nails from the lumber that we were reusing from the building. And I pulled out so many nails that I actually filled up a 5-gallon bucket.
One of the weirdest things I remember was we were cutting a 2x12 down into a 2x10, but while we were pushing the 2x12 through, cutting it down, the electricity would stop. But then when I would lift the board up, the electricity would come back on, and it would do this over and over.
While Warren was scratching his head trying to figure out why the power kept turning off and on while he was using the table saw, I figured it was probably one of our power strips, so I changed it out.
Penny claims that she figured out what was wrong with it.
The funniest thing definitely had to be the bat.
Somewhere within this basement, there is a vampire bat.
And I'm afraid to be in the building with the bat, and I don't want it to bite or get tangled in my hair.
Waiting to suck the blood of everybody.
I'm a little creeped out by old houses and old buildings to begin with, and so my entire family is teasing me since we bought this building of how I'm gonna live in this big house and not be afraid that it's haunted.
I remember Penny was so freaked out the bat, she was saying some really weird things on how she thought we could get rid of it.
Can we spray him with some bug spray?
No, I don't want to kill it.
Oh,
Why would you kill the bat?
because I don't know if it has rabies and I don't want
They
it.
don't bite. Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up.
Yes, they do.
They eat bugs, insects.
I didn't want the bat in the building with me.
Penny's gonna be the mean landlord and evict the bat. So, what we're hoping is the bat will swoop down from this point where he's at, and we're hoping he will zoom right out the door. And even though I wasn't scared of the bat, I did kind of freak out when it flew right at us. I don't know. Do you think your plan was a good plan, to shoo the bat?
Well, if I can't see him, maybe I won't be scared of him.
But now we're okay with the bat, and I'm not as creeped out by it, and as long as he keeps eating all the mosquitoes, we're good, and he can stay. Once we put the electricity in, we were able to stay the night at the building and camp out.
Lay down.
What?
Yeah, lay down.
I like the sleepovers because we can just kind of watch movies.
I really get a kick out of waking everybody up. Girls, get up. Get up. Kind of brings back those days of being a drill sergeant.
The most memorable thing of that summer is we gave Gwen a video camera and said, okay, we need you out of our hair, so we'll give you this camera and you go videotape what you and your brothers do to keep yourself occupied.
Okay, I'm going to show you downstairs all the tools some of the stuff I do down here, but there's not a lot. I sometimes play and I'll show you that stuff too. Here's the tiles, I work on them. See that tile with that weird looking stuff? Well, that's the stuff I took off. Okay, you're gonna see my brothers go down the hill. In the wagon, I'm gonna be pulling up and videotaping at the same time. How weird is that? When wasn't wedding yet! Now I am. You only videotaped one time, and you videotaped Zane more. No, boy, I actually just videotaped you 2 times.
Gwen's quality of video for a 9-year-old, I was very impressed. I love when we're working in the building and we just come across trash in the walls.
Wow, look what I found, a Canada Dry old ginger ale bottle. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's an old bottle.
It just really tells the story of the campers that have gone there in years past.
Okay, we also found some graffiti that we've never noticed before. Real faint right here, there's a name and an address.
I can just picture, you know, the girls sitting up in there eating their candy and talking about the cutest boy in camp and giggling. And I just love finding that and picturing that in my head. The best thing that came out of the summer of 2008 was we were videotaping the Builders Blitz for the Habitat for Humanity, where I met Andy McCleary, the president of Anco Products. I was very interested to find out that insulation was not only being made right in here in Elkhart County, but that it was a very sustainable insulation made out of post-industrial waste. As a matter of fact, coming up next on the Sneakers Family Edifice Venture, I get the opportunity to speak with Andy McCleary about the sustainability of their insulation that they make at Anco Products. And then later I take a tour of the facility with Rob Rowena.
Since the early 1960s, Texture-Fine insulation has been an environmentally friendly product. Our unique process diverts millions of pounds of fiberglass scrap from landfills each year. Today, high-quality standards have made Anco Products a world-class industry leader in high-tensile strength, resilient insulation products.
Anco products include laminated metal building insulation,
insulated flexible duct system,
and indoor air quality, Green Guard certified Texture-Fine insulation.
Green isn't a new initiative. We started in the 60s.
Anco Products, our energy saves you energy.
88.1 WVPE Public Radio is a vital communication resource that strives to inform, entertain, and inspire. National Public Radio is an internationally acclaimed producer and distributor of non-commercial news, talk, and entertainment programming. WVPE serves local listeners with a distinctive blend of national and local programming and annual events. In 2008, WVPE launched a sustainability initiative which includes green events and programs. Learn more at WVPE.org.
Many people think that being sustainable is all about how the product is made, but the distance a product must travel is just as important. I was able to take a tour of Anco Products Incorporated, the company where we bought our insulation. Anco Products manufactures textile-type fiberglass and ships their products worldwide for various applications. Anco Products President and CEO Andy McCleary explained what makes their insulation so special and unique.
If you see this fiber right here, you can see that there's, it looks like one strand, but if you start to open it up, there's actually about 204, 200 or so smaller strands. When you open it up more, you get a better thermal value, but when it's together, you get a lot higher tensile strength. And what that allows for our insulation products is you get a lot better dimensional stability and tensile strength in all of your product lines, which is very different from a lot of other fiberglass type insulations.
But that's not the only thing that makes their insulation unique. Their products are made from scrap fiberglass.
Our insulation products are anywhere from 85 to 90% recycled. That's a really high recycled content. You don't find that much in this industry.
The fibers used to make their insulation are very different from standard products, which means
you can smash it down and it always comes back to its original shape. A lot of times with the normal fiberglass, it won't bounce back to that original shape. So if it's going into a residential type application, if you put it up in the studs, it's going to stay up in the studs. It's not going to sink down over time, and it's going to give you that good thermal value.
The uses for this type of fiberglass are numerous, and that's why Anco has not just one, but 3 different product lines.
We have a flexible air duct division, we have our insulation manufacturing division, and we also laminate insulation products for commercial buildings. Our flex duct division, one of the exciting things that we have going on right now is we just developed this new type of insulation. We call this Texture Soft. Texture Soft is 90% recycled. It's held together by a 100% formaldehyde-free binder, which is pretty special. There are only 2 other insulation manufacturers currently that can make a formaldehyde-free product. We're actually the only long fiber insulation manufacturer that can do this. If you touch this, it's super soft, no itch. The contractors that handle it love it. It's been received very well in the market, so we're really excited about it. So all of our flex duct division is going over to this new product right now. So we sell it in the metallized jacket and the black jacket, and we ship this product pretty much all over the U.S. Our other division is the laminating department, and we laminate insulation products, again, for commercial buildings. So we ship this product within about a 200-mile radius to the plant. We deal with local contractors and distributors also, so we also sell this into the agricultural industry for farmers. And then our third product line is our Texture Fine and Texture Shield division. We manufacture this special high tensile strength resilient insulation. We ship that all over the world for various applications, anything from rail cars to large industrial applications, things like liquid natural gas tanks, power plants. That particular product we're going to be putting into your home is 85% recycled. All of our products are Green Guard Children in Schools certified for indoor air quality. That means you're not going to have any harmful VOCs coming out of your insulation products over time. The long fibers, they're non-respirable, so that's another safety feature of our products. And all of our product lines pass the UL codes for fire safety and things like that, so you know you're getting a safe product that you're going to be able to put into your home.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we will take a tour of Anco Products Incorporated and see just how their sustainable insulation is made.
Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County does more than build houses for those in need. They provide education on personal finance, homeownership, parenting, and other life skills to help those moving into these houses turn them into homes. Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County, working with people from all walks of life to build simple, decent, affordable homes. For more information on how you can help, visit www.habitatec.com.
Heritage Antique Lumber is a small, family-run business. We reclaim lumber and we turn it into something you can be proud of and you will be happy with. The uniqueness of our cabinetry is one of a kind. Heritage Antique Lumber makes furniture, crafts, mirrors, frames, and more using reclaimed barnwood. We at Heritage Antique Lumber consider ourselves more than just craftsmen. We are also artists. Visit our website and see our quality, heritageantiquelumber.com.
Well, Penny, here we are in the glass line. First thing I want you to look at are these bundles of glass right here. We're going to talk about those a little later, but I just want to make sure you remember those. Here we have glass that's already cut. We'll be taking a look at that in a minute. But as Andy had mentioned earlier, this glass is basically scrap glass that would normally end up in a landfill. So we purchase the scrap, millions and millions of pounds per year, and we cut it up and begin this entire process. Now let's take a look at it getting cut up. Well, you see right here, this is actually the glass, the scrap glass, before it's cut. Typically, you want to cut it and make sure that our strands are roughly about 5 inches long. This glass gets thrown into this long conveyor. It works its way through a series of conveyor belts and pickers and different things of that nature that open up the glass so that the individual strands are separated. And now I'll show you where that ends up. Alright, so you saw the glass get cut and then it was on the conveyor systems, comes through. It's going to just drop from there into that other conveyor system that's just opening it more and separating it. And there's some scales there that will weigh the product and make sure that we have the proper amount of glass per square inch. And then it's dumped into a conveyor system. Let's go look at that. Okay. So here you see the glass falling. It's also getting mixed with recycled glass going through our system. Over here, we've got the mixture of the glass going through this giant machine here that I like to say is like a giant washing machine. Just tumbling and tumbling and mixing the product a little bit more and a little bit more. It's going to go along this system here that's known as the 410. And in the 410, it goes up and then it splits. Then we have the north side of the line and the south side of the line. Now here what you have is the material coming through the 410. It goes through these machinery here called garnets, basically further opened and further separated and even more importantly, evenly distributed. We've got our material coming through, all our pure glass. But we make different types of insulation. We've got our Texture Fine, we have our Texture Soft. Well, the main difference between the Texture Soft and the Texture Fine is one uses a small portion of phenolic resin and the other one uses absolutely no phenolic resin. Assuming we were making Texture Fine, resin from this machine would be transported and go into this box back here that's known as a forming section. It would create our product. If we're making texture soft, then no resin would go through and the product would just go through as you see it. Now look how thick that glass is.
Yeah, that's pretty thick.
What's so amazing here is that the glass is now formed and is going to go into our oven. The flights go from about a ½ inch to 6 inches in thickness. So that big piece of glass is going to amaze you here shortly. Remember our 16 inches of glass we had before?
Yes.
Now look at it.
Wow.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now right here, we have our chopper, which does two things. One, first of all, it cuts the product to the proper length, which is measured on the other side. But the other thing, if the quality inspector wants to come and do a spot check, or if the employees are checking the product, they can cut a piece off and immediately do a test before it gets to the package.
So what happens to the scraps on the end when the rolls are cut?
Aha. Remember earlier I told you remember the bundles?
Yes.
And then remember you asked, well, where does that come from?
Yes.
Well, these pieces on the end are called edge trim. Obviously when we cut the width, they're kind of scraggly on the end. We want the customer to get a good product. But doesn't mean these things should get wasted. So we take them over here. So now we take the edge trim, round it through this machine here, make these amazing bales. These bales are then transported back to the beginning, and voila, there is the profit.
The Seegers Family Edifice Venture is sponsored in part by Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County, building decent affordable housing with people in need. WVPE 88.1, a NPR station. Inform, entertain, inspire. Anco Products Inc, our energy saves you energy. And Heritage Antique Lumber, crafting fine furniture, custom cabinetry, and trim using lumber from historic barns.
If you like our video series, you'll love our website. Check it out at www.edificeventure.com. See pictures, read blogs, find cool links, plus information and tips to help you get started on your own green, sustainable home improvement projects. Next time on the Seegers Family Edifice Venture, we finish putting tiles down in the kitchen and start grouting. Our attention is then diverted from the main living area to the greenhouse, due to the fact our new construction permit was close to expiring. Be sure to join us next time on the Seegers Family Edifice Venture.